X-Men Days of Future Past is just days away, and we figured we aren't the only ones who are really excited about it, so we decided to dig up some obscure facts about the Wolverine and the rest of the X-Men. Behold, here are 7 things you didn't know about the X-Men. Probably. One X-Man everybody knows is Wolverine, aka Logan. Well, you probably didn't know that Logan actually isn't his real name either. The Wolverine's real name is James Howlett. This was revealed in the Origins comic series, where we learned that he took the name from a character named Dog Logan, a family friend who later betrayed him. We're glad he didn't steal the name Dog, though. Wolverine is just way cooler. Playing the Wolverine in X-Men was a breakout role for Hugh Jackman. It's what catapulted him to superstar status, scoring parts in other, cinema classics like this. But most people don't know that with Days of Future Past under his belt, this will be the 7th time Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine, a record for how many times a comic book character has been played by the same actor in films with a theatrical release. He's also the only actor to appear in the entire X-Men film series, even though a lot of fanboys went ballistic when they cast a 6'2" guy to play the Wolverine back in 2000, it seems to have worked out pretty well. Minus this. The X-Men is, straight up, just an awesome name for a supergroup of mutants. But did you know that Stan Lee originally wanted to name the series The Merry Mutants? The Marvel publisher heard the name and basically said, hell no. Which is a really good thing, because I don't think I'd be as excited to see The Merry Mutants Days of Future Past. There are actually way more X-Men than most people realize. While Days of Future Past shows us X-Men that have never been on film prior, there are some mutants in the X-Men universe that we're pretty sure will never, ever make it to the silver screen, because they're terrible. One such character was Skin, whose superpower was having several feet of saggy, stretchy skin that he could control. Considering we already have to spend most of our lives protecting our skin from, scrapes and cuts in the sun and bees, all this guy was really good for was needing all the band-aids after a battle. Another X guy you won't ever see in the movies is Maggot. His power was he had 2 super maggots that could digest anything. He was basically a glorified version of the kid in the cafeteria at lunchtime who would eat anything if you gave him $1. There was also Wraith, whose power was having invisible skin. That's not so much a mutant superpower as it is a terrible problem. Oh, and he can also transplant his invisible skin power to other mutants. I guess so that they could experience how much it sucked firsthand. Keep your lame non-powers to yourself, bro. Let's jump right into this one because it's kind of hardcore. Professor X totally wanted to bang an underage girl. Stick with me, guys. We'll get through this together. See, in X-Men issue number 3 from 1964, we learn that Charles Xavier is in love with Jean Grey, who was 15 at this time in the comics. The professor kept his boner for the teenage Jean Grey a total secret for a decade, which is both correct and a long time to hold on to a secret boner.
Can we start a hashtag for secret boner? But no, okay, I'll just get back to work then.
Anyway, Professor X did finally confess his hashtag secret boner to Moira McTaggart in a 1976 issue. And based on what he says, it sounds like he had moved on from being in love with Jean Grey by then anyway. Probably because she'd gotten too old. All of you diehard fans who think Marvel can do no wrong might kind of hate this thing, but it's the truth. The X-Men are a ripoff. A few months before the first X-Men comic was released by Marvel, DC had already started their own band of mutated humans with superpowers forced to the outskirts of humanity because of their gifts, called the Doom Patrol. That might sound like a coincidence, but it gets worse. The Doom Patrol, which again came out before the X-Men, had the tagline, "The World's Strangest Heroes" on the cover. The X-Men's first issue tagline, "The Strangest Superheroes of All." And it gets even worse. Here's an image of the Doom Patrol, who, wouldn't you know it, are led by a wheelchair-bound dude called the Chief. He's basically a lumberjacky Professor X. And one more thing. The Doom Patrol battles with the Brotherhood of Evil, which sounds a lot like Magneto's group in X-Men, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But by a lot like, I mean it's literally the exact name plus the word mutants. Let's bring things full circle and close this one out with the Wolverine. You probably didn't know that Wolverine is actually technically obese.
Go fuck yourself.
Since he's only 5'2" and his metal skeleton makes him weigh about 300 pounds, he's actually in the extreme obesity range based on his BMI. Hey, Biggest Loser, I've got an idea for your next season. You'll thank me later. That's it for today, but there are lots of other fun X-Men facts that we didn't have time for. So sound off in the comments and let us know if you guys have any good ones. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to Cinefix for more true-ish things about movies and sometimes mutants right here on Things You Didn't Know.